Welcome to the Friendly Geordies podcast, minus Friendly Jimmy's, unfortunately. So we thought
he's away.
He's away. He's on a birthday holiday for himself. Good on you, mate. Yeah, just you deserve it.
Yeah, take the time
because you make so much money. You deserve it.
Take the time off and relax. Even though I know from sources that you're just working.
Yeah,
he's just working.
What's he doing? Just writing scripts,
emailing, and scripts and editing. The man can't holiday.
The man can't holiday. Well, he deserves to send us emails from a pristine beach house.
Yeah.
The man's earned that.
Yes.
When he made the third video on Bruz, that's when we knew this man deserves to write emails on a beach.
Yeah, so Shawarma FM is in, and it's just.
So I instead decided that if Jordan isn't here, we'll have a very, very interesting person on.
Who?
You miss.
What's that? What's that superhero? Mr. What's that guy?
Mystery.
He's like in Mr. E. No, I was trying to make a bad joke about like the Invisible Man, but I guess the moment's passed. Well, he's right here.
Well, if that moment has passed, talk about the opposite of the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Voldemort.
Oh yeah.
Peter Dutton. So actually, I want to get your take on this because you I think would have a neutral take.
Yeah.
So what's happened is that Peter Dutton is asking for a ban on all Gazans that are coming.
I heard that.
Okay, so because there's a war zone, the Australian government has decided to give some of them visit visas, which is essentially like because you can issue them faster so they can come out of the war zone, and then their refugee visa will be processed if it is processed or if it's not.
Yeah.
Peter Dutton came out in Parliament and said, "What's going on here, mate? You're sneaking in a few towelies without us knowing, huh? Is that what's happening?" And he's like,
towelly quota.
"Until we can figure out what's going on, we need to put a ban." So he went
until we can figure out.
Remember when Trump did that? He just like came up and he was like,
"A total and utter ban on Muslims. We have to do it
until we figure out what the hell is." Someone needs to ask him, bro. Did we figure out what the hell was going on? No.
Are we still figuring it out?
Are we still figuring that one out?
We need to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a view on this.
I think.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Well, I mean, no, you go. I think that it's fine, right? They should it's like this assumption.
This is my
assumption that
this is my personal view.
Yeah.
This is by no means am I saying that everyone in Australia should feel the same, but there's two aspects to this story. One aspect is, in certain sense, Peter Dutton isn't wrong, and I guess I have more liberty to say this as a Muslim, as someone who actually sympathizes with the cause and all of that stuff.
Moose.
But the fact of the matter is that when you're in a war zone, you tend to have radical views. Right. So if you because you've seen multiple members of your family get killed. Everyone, Gaza is a small place, bro. It's like not a massive. It's a small place, and everyone that's in Gaza has been heavily affected by this war. Yeah. So you have certain opinions. You might have, you might be a little bit more turbocharged than someone, let's say, coming from
understandable San Francisco,
Papua New Guinea or something. They've had a chill life.
Well, actually, bad example.
Sorry, no.
Fiji. Let's say Fiji.
The good parts of Fiji. If you go to the Indian parts, life's rough there too.
Basically, most of the world you're going to be
basically
insane.
If you're Australian,
even New Zealanders, too much. Yeah.
And so now that's not to say that everyone that's coming from there is like a violent person that's going to start attacking.
No.
But there are certain emotions that you bring with you, and rightly so, because for whatever reason. So just as an idea that like getting refugees from war zones. Not to say that there's no one in Gaza that is apolitical. I'm sure there's people in Gaza that are like, they're like artists and stuff, and they're just like, they just want to, they're like, dude, I don't care.
Of course.
I'm sure there are.
Of course. Yeah,
but I also would like to say that they're probably in a minority.
Right.
So that's one aspect. So I understand where Peter Dutton is coming from. I understand. I have similar, and it's like, okay, this is not even just like bagging a particular culture. I'll give you an example. One example is Arab population in the U.S., one of the highest earning populations, one of the most educated populations.
Really?
One of the,
Dude, BPD. Ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom.
You know why? You know why?
No.
Because they didn't come during, they weren't like, they usually came on skills-based visas. So they might be Arab. They might be from Palestine, or they might be from, Syria, wherever they might be. Yeah. But these were like individuals that were like doing, like had studied and applied for a skills-based assessment, got it, and came to Australia. So I ended up like earning a lot of money.
Just quickly, is Armenia Arabic?
Well, it's almost Turkish. Like they're more like you guys.
Okay.
To be fair,
just checking. Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of like again, this is a very tricky topic, but like a lot of the Lebanese, let's say, bashing that happens in Australia, which is also wrong. But a lot of the Lebanese population came during the Lebanese Civil War, so it was during a tough time, and so you have I
get it. It's fair. It's a fair call.
I think everyone gets it.
It's a fair call.
But this is where I think Peter Dutton is completely wrong. Because, so Peter Dutton, on the one hand, doesn't want Gazans here. But on the other hand, is publicly advocating for a policy that is ethnically cleansing Gaza. So you can't have it both ways, bro. Either you try to make life habitable for those people so that they stay there. And if you're not going to do that, then you are in no moral position to say they can't come here.
Very fair.
You're that is
I get that.
The worst level of human being you can ever be.
Yeah.
Where you literally force someone
out
to
of their
flee,
home, but don't come to mine.
Take over their land, which they don't want to leave. They want to stay there. Take over their land and then say you can't come like 2,000 miles over here.
Yeah.
Like, so if someone like Albanese or someone advocates for that, says like, we want to make sure that Gaza is a livable place for Gazans.
Yeah.
They should live in their own homes.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
I don't disagree. Yeah.
So like, I just think like morally Peter Dutton's position is so bad because he's like going.
I wonder what he would say if that was put to him though. What would he say?
He wouldn't say. He's like, for him from his perspective, he's like, dude, I don't care. Like it's kind of like insensitive. It's like, I don't care. I'm on the side of the Israelis.
Yeah.
I don't want people that sympathize with the other side living in my country.
Yeah.
That's what he would say. But I was like,
it's not very empathetic.
It's not empathetic.
And it's also not very.
On the one hand, you say bomb them, like finish the job, and then you say they can't come here.
Yeah, that's
and they always say shit like go over to your like Saudi Arabia or Jordan should take them.
Yeah,
but like from their perspective too, I agree with them not taking them into a certain. I mean, I empathize with them, and they should take them in.
Lebanon, there's a lot of Palestinians in Lebanon,
but it's also like this is the one thing that Israeli government wants because they want to ethnically cleanse those people. It's you can't do that, bro. You can't just like take over whatever willy-nilly and expect no one to like raise any voice against it. Well, and just absorb everyone. Like, and if you think like these countries haven't absorbed Palestinians, you're wrong.
No, if they have,
there's been cycles.
Dude, there's a lot. I didn't actually know it, but there's a lot of Palestinians in Lebanon.
There's heaps.
Yeah.
So there's half of Jordan is Lebanon. Sorry, half of Jordan is Palestinian.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, half of it is Palestinian.
Really?
And these countries, even places like, those Arab-rich places that we always like, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar.
Yes.
They don't take anyone, but they've taken Palestinians. Now, a lot of them came during like the 65 war and the Yom Kippur war, but they know that what happens. They get assimilated until the next cycle happens where Israel goes, well, there's still a few million people here, so we're going to push them out.
Right.
No, dude. This is what happened. Like, I understand if Australians say that we don't want to like take every refugee from Gaza. we'll achieve whatever our quota is. I understand that. But at the same time, we need to advocate for Gaza not to be inhabitable. We need to advocate for like that place to be sustainable enough for people to live there.
What is so ignorant of me, but what's the latest with the war? I just don't watch the news anymore. It's so depressing.
So the latest is that allegedly Israel has agreed to the U.S. brokered peace plan, and this is all allegedly. I don't. Sure. This is what the State Department is saying.
Yeah.
And Hamas has still not done it. But the facts on the ground is that this is very close to spiraling out into a regional war. If this peace deal does not happen...
Yeah, because didn't Israel attack Lebanon?
Israel attacked Iran.
Shit.
And not only attacked Iran, they attacked them in one of the most humiliating way possible.
What do you mean?
Iran was inaugurating their new president because the last one died in that helicopter crash.
Yeah.
And so that invited a bunch of dignitaries from all over the world for the swearing-in ceremony, including the leader of Hamas. By the way, this leader of Hamas, when we say a Hamas leader, Hamas is a violent organization as well that does carry out attacks. But it has their political wing and it has their military wing, right? Because the political wing is there for negotiations for you to figure stuff out. The guy that they killed was actually the head of the political side.
Oh, they killed him?
Yeah, that's why it was even more. And not only did they kill him. So for a lot of countries...
I should know this.
For a lot of countries, that was bad. Like, you can't just take out a guy that you're sitting across the table with. That is step one of negotiations, that you don't kill the person you're negotiating with. You kill other people. You kill, whoever you're fighting. But you don't kill the people that were on the table. So this was one aspect that a lot of the other countries around were like, dude, don't kill that guy.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. But for Iran, it was humiliating because this was done during the inauguration of the president.
Whoa!
So there was a bunch of other dignitaries. There was people. There was, and so the idea was that if you go to Iran, as a state level guest, you're not safe.
Fuck.
And so this is an extremely this is one of the most humiliating things that could ever happen. That means no one is safe in Iran.
Jesus Christ.
Israel has the capacity to take out anyone, which is great for them. But now what that means is Iran has to respond.
Yeah.
Iran does not want... So from Israel's perspective, they want a regional war.
They do.
They want it. Because what they want is they want this to be the defining phase where they believe that they can, if they wage a war against Iran and Hezbollah, they can deplete them to a large extent where this will cease to be a problem. They live in fool's land if they think that, because this is only going to lead to more and more problems. Like when you take out the leadership in Iran after a war, the vacuum that's going to be created, they're not going to be Jew-loving people that are going to fill in that place. Bro, you're going to create more havoc. But they believe that the fight could be decisive enough where this problem could be resolved to a large extent.
Right.
But the U.S. tells them, you're crazy.
It's not gonna
Don't do this.
Yeah.
You have no idea the tinderbox that you're going to, if you go for a regional war.
Yeah.
And so U.S. doesn't want it. Iran, on the other hand, doesn't want it either. They don't want to go through a regional war. They'd rather keep their proxies going because Israel's the only one that wants it. So that's why they do this provocative shit. They'll fucking kill him. And they'll tell America, okay, we've done it. Now, we're not going to do anything else. But if they attack us, then we're going to go for it. They essentially want a war. And and Israel has the U.S. polity by the balls.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they know that if there is an attack, we're going to get... And Israel always have that insurance. They're like, okay, if shit gets too intense, we always have the insurance of the Americans.
Yeah. What... How come Iran is the new sort of boogeyman or whatnot?
That's...
Everyone's talking about...
That's a long segment, bro. But I can... Okay. That's a long segment.
Okay. Well...
Okay, I'll try to do it briefly.
I mean, all I've heard is they can't get a nuclear bomb or they have a nuclear bomb or something. I don't know. And I know that they... support Hamas and proxies against Israel. I get it.
Yeah, but the question is why?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't understand why Iran supports proxies that are thousands of kilometers away from their border.
Yeah.
They don't share a border with them, which is why they can't even attack Israel that easily because they have to go through Jordan and these different countries.
Yeah.
So the question is, why does Iran do this?
Yeah. Maybe a shortened version.
Yeah, I'll give you a shortened version. So, ironically, if you want to understand Iran and why Iran behaves the way it behaves, you have to
go to Iraq.
No, you have to like look at their history, and not history in the sense of like their history of hundreds of years, right?
Yeah.
So they're actually similar to Israelis and Jews in a lot of ways.
Right.
Okay, so Iran is dominated by Shias. Shia is the second biggest group, religious denomination in Islam. So Sunnis being number one, Shias being
I thought it was Shiite.
Shiite as well. You can do either way.
Oh, okay, cool.
Shia means it just okay. So it started off.
Yeah, it's just it was a split in the religion.
It was a split in the religion.
Yeah.
So Shia means
one's more intense.
Partisan.
Right.
So the initial term that they used was Shia to Ali. Ali was
damn. You're their god.
Yeah. Well, the partisans of Ali. The party of Ali.
Oh, okay.
So just the Ali sort of left, and they became Shia.
Right.
They were a persecuted minority in Islam since donkey years.
Right.
Essentially, right after the split, they started getting persecuted, and like their history, they derive all of their persecution. It's like Jews, they have an ethos of being persecuted,
right?
And they're not wrong. Like the Jews, they're not wrong.
Yeah,
they were being persecuted.
Yeah.
In fact, like their ultimate, like they supported Ali and Ali's sons, who were actually grandsons of Prophet Muhammad. The Sunnis, like the opposite, like they brutally killed them. And so then they were driven out from what is Arabia. And that's why what is Iran was Persia before became Shia. Because these people were driven out of the Arabic lands.
That was Persia.
Yeah. So they went through like a period like the Jews where like, we are right about this religion, but we're too powerless. Everyone like, abuses us. They had a few instances like the Fatimid Empire where they became like, but largely if you look at the overall history, they were always persecuted. They had a bit of an inferiority thing. And so eventually scholars of Shia Islam started believing that like, in the next life, when we die, eventually they believed that Mahdi, like from June, Mahdi would come and he would usher in true Islam for the Antichrist situation, and then he will tell everyone that the Shias were right and all of you were wrong. You were mean to them, but they were right the whole time. So they believe that, and so they actually refused to even.
Just quickly, the Shiites, would you say, are more like fundamentalist ones?
No.
Okay.
No, don't think of it that way. They're not fundamental. Not in the sense that you're thinking.
Right. It doesn't matter.
In fact, they're less fundamentalist.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The separatists.
Yeah. So they had this whole thing. So even they were like in Iran, they became like they were the majority, but Iran was never a Shia country. Iran was always either ruled by some kind of nobility, like the Shahs, or it was like a democracy for a little while. It never was a Shia country, even though people living in it were Shia.
In the 60s, it was like rock and roll town, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the rock and roll town. It was the biggest CIA headquarters.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. In fact, that's actually why there's a bit of American anti-Americanism now, because like they really screwed them over to some extent.
Okay, sorry, I don't want to jump in too much.
Anyway, so the entire Shia ethos was that we shouldn't even want a state, because like the Jews, before Zionism, we shouldn't even want the state because we want this. In a sense, both of them think that the world is getting mean and bad. And when it gets really bad, that's when the day of judgment will come.
Right.
And so that's when, either the Jewish Messiah for Jews will come, who will usher in the kingdom of David again, and then Jews will be right at the top and everyone else will be at the bottom. And and in Shias, it was Mahdi. Mahdi's going to come, and he's going to raise all of us. So we shouldn't even try to make a Shia state, because we want this place to get bad. Yeah. It only increases the likelihood of Mahdi coming in.
Right.
Until literally 1979. So this has been happening for hundreds of years. When Khomeini came, like the Israelis, Khomeini came, and he said, no, we're going to make a Shia state, we're going to make a Shia theocracy, and we're going to create the conditions for the Mahdi to come in.
Right.
So all of my predecessors were wrong that we shouldn't have a state. We should definitely have a state.
Right.
Because without creating a state, the Mahdi would never come in. So it became an ideological state. So when Iran was formed, it became a state that wasn't just... So for every other state, you can expect how they behave because they're based on national interests. So you know that any country in the world, that certain things, they will behave according to normal geopolitical laws. They'll behave according to whatever their national interest. Even if they were going to go to war with you, it'll be based on some perceived, like Russia and Ukraine. If you're going to take over Ukraine, Russia will fight with you because they believe it to be their national interest. Like, you understand how this game works.
Yeah.
But with a revolutionary government like Iran, which is based on like this metaphysical idea.
Right.
It's not even like, it's based, their national perceived interests are not based on geopolitical realities, but based on maybe some mythical thing. So
wait a sec, they still have to trade and they still have a government and exist in like those parameters, right? And their flag is like, it's not like a picture of that guy. It's still like 3 stripes or something, right?
Yeah. But
so
they do, but like Iran is able to behave this way because they have a lot of oil. So even if all economic, so when the West puts in sanctions on them, which normally for another revolutionary state,
it's like a big deal,
which would be a big deal, and they would eventually collapse.
Yeah.
Iran doesn't, because they have so much oil that they export that oil in the black market to plenty of countries who are willing to accept it.
Yeah.
So even if not officially, they're willing to like trade it on black. In the black.
So
market.
are they like a theocracy?
So they are legitimately, I think, aside from Vatican, which is like so small. It is the only actual theocracy in the world.
Holy shit! Do they have a prime minister? Or they have like a ruler?
They have a president.
A president,
but the center of power lies with the cleric, who is known as the Ayatollah.
No way, that's the Ayatollah.
Yeah, so the Ayatollah believes that. So now Israel. Now, funny thing is, Gazans and Palestinians aren't Shia Muslims.
No.
Hezbollah is Shia, so you can understand why Iran would have sympathy with Hezbollah. But Gazans and Palestinians are are Sunnis. But Iran is the only country, I think, in the world now, aside from like a few neighboring militias, that will still compromise on inherent national interests for Palestinians.
Wow.
Now, any other country, because all these other countries, now Saudi Arabia might be like, on the surface a very repressive, super Islamist country, but no, it's like it doesn't have that revolutionary fervor in it. So it'll act based on its national interests, and its national interests are right now
money
to F the Palestinians and actually strike a deal with Israelis.
Really?
Yeah. And so they're behaving. That's what the Abraham Accords were about, where UAE has already normalized relations with Israel.
Yeah.
It's not in their interest to mess with Israel, because frankly speaking, Israel has told everyone that you can't win. Like, there's no way you're getting like this back.
Hectic.
And they've accepted it.
Yeah.
And honestly, anyone would.
Right.
But Iran doesn't, because it's a metaphysical card.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So an Ayatollah is like the Pope.
Yeah, it's the Pope, but also has the power.
Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. Like I didn't know that. But then so that answers that. But then why is Iran is Iran only being focused on in terms of the American media and all and the sort of like Republican talking points because they're supporting Hamas and Hezbollah? Is that the reason, or is there deeper reasons? So that seems like good for a headline. But
no, that is the reason.
Oh, okay.
It is the only state, only country, only state
that officially
supports
Hamas.
The Palestinians, not just with diplomatic words or like every Muslim country has this thing of like but they're putting their weapons, their money, and obviously that's like a problem for Israel.
Doesn't Lebanon do that?
No, Lebanon doesn't. A militia within Lebanon called Hezbollah, which shares power with Lebanon.
Yeah.
But if it was up to Lebanon as a country, they'd fuck over the Palestinians.
Right. Oh, it's so crazy. But does Iran have a nuclear weapon?
They don't. That's why they don't have a nuclear weapon, but they are capable of developing one. So all they have to do is enrich uranium, and they'll be there to create a bomb. And obviously, Israel doesn't want them to do that, which is partly why. This is actually the main reason why Israel wants a regional war. Because what Israel really wants is have the opportunity to take out the nuclear facilities that have the potential of enriching uranium.
Gotcha.
That's actually the only reason. That's
yeah.
So they want this. They don't want to. They don't want to lose this opportunity. This war for them is an opportunity to take out those nuclear facilities.
Yeah.
And and so if America tells them don't fight them, and they are like don't do. A regional war is in no one's interest. Iran doesn't want it, and America certainly doesn't want to be bogged down in another war in the Middle East. So they're begging Israel not to do it. But Israel, under its breath, is saying, bro, this is our opportunity to take out those fucking nuclear sites.
Yeah.
So, like, we want a regional war. And America's like, you're insane, bro. Like, because from America's perspective, like, even, like, okay, they don't want Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. But just because Iran has a nuclear weapon doesn't mean it will use it on you. Yeah, like, there's other countries that have nuclear weapons. So you don't have to, like, literally blow up the entire region for the possibility that they'll have. Like, bro, they'll develop, like, 4 or 5? America, we have, like, 40,000 of them. Like, it's fine. There's no comparison between us and Iran. And Iran knows that if they use a nuclear weapon, like, they will, like, literally be glass steel.
Jesus Christ.
In no time. So America realizes so
scary this
shit. So they're telling Israel, like, this isn't the end of it. Like, we can control these people. Like, don't start a regional war.
This is a big part of the doom for me. Nuclear weapons is terrifying. But who in the Middle East, what countries do have nuclear weapons?
There's only one Muslim country in the world that has nuclear weapons, and that's Pakistan, baby.
Holy shit! Yeah. They won it in a meat raffle. They're like, yes,
they got
66.
away with it. They got away with it because first of all,
they were a proxy for Russia.
No, they were a proxy for America. That's why.
That's what I meant. Sorry, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. I was just thinking a proxy against Russia is what I meant to say. Yeah, exactly. So America was like, they're our friends.
So they developed it.
So they're allowed.
They developed it. No, they weren't allowed.
Oh.
They developed it during the 80s, and the 80s was the period of the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And so Pakistan was helping U.S. Fight the Soviets in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So at the time, they knew that Pakistan was building one, and they kept telling Pakistan, don't do it. Don't do it. If you do it, we will put sanctions on you. Pakistan was like, hey, it's fine. Like, what about India's done it? And it was like, we'll also put sanctions on India. But, like, don't develop nuclear. And Pakistan was like, it's fine. Yeah. And then every time, like, it came down to, like, some guy going up to, like, you know, the State Department saying, like, Pakistan is, like, very close to developing a nuclear bomb. They'd be like, well, we need them to fight against the Soviets. So, like,
I didn't hear you. Yeah.
And by the time, like, the Soviets withdrew from Afghanistan and America was in a position to actually put the brakes on their nuclear program, it was too late. They're already done.
Yeah, got to pay him for that.
And then they didn't recognize the nuclear weapon, and then 9/11 happened. And so America again wanted access to Afghanistan through Pakistan. So they officially recognized their nuclear programs. Like, okay, you're one of the country that has a full-on nuclear weapon. And the sanctions were lifted. Because after they developed it in the 90s, America put sanctions on Pakistan.
I would have thought
so they just sneaked through the
thing. I would have thought that because Osama bin Laden was being harbored in Pakistan, they would not have looked too fondly.
Well, this was after. So Osama bin Laden was found in 2011.
Yeah.
And before 2011, actually before 2007, around the time when America discovered that Pakistan was playing a double game with them, Pakistan was like supporting them on war on terror, and and Bush thought, like, you know, Pakistan was his best friend and stuff. And then at some point, the intelligence agencies realized that they're playing a double game. They're actually supporting some of the Taliban factions that they think will help them.
Right.
And so that's when, like, America was like, hang on a minute, dude, like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So then the mistrust started, and it went to the peak when bin Laden was found. So, like, had Pakistan been developing a nuclear weapon today, they would have been treated exactly like Iran was.
Right.
But they just timed it right.
They just timed it.
Yeah.
Bro, you know what all this shit makes me realize? It's just Game of Thrones. Russia's a big house. America's a big house. Then there's all these smaller houses. That's it. It's fucking ridiculous. Like where, like, there's nuclear weapons, like, in subs in the ocean. Like how many does the UK have?
Subs?
No, like nuclear weapons. And where are they stationed? Like on a Tesco's? Just like 2-for-1 meal deals. Like,
well,
egg and cress nuke.
I would imagine a few hundred, maybe a couple of thousand, but like
where are they?
Nowhere near as many as like
America.
Russia.
I know, or America.
Have, yeah.
But like where, like Russia has a lot of room. America has a lot of room.
Well, they don't tell you. That information is classified because like then anyone that knows that information could just come and bomb it.
Can you what do you think of the idea that nuclear weapons are a deterrent because it's mutual destruction? I think it's a load of shit. I think it's like, it
is until it's not, and then there's apocalypse.
That's what I'm saying.
It's true. Like, there's a very strong argument to be made that the Cold War never became a hot war because of nuclear weapons.
Yeah, I maybe, but it's
like not maybe. It is
really.
It's a very, very strong argument.
But what a stupid, crazy gamble to be like. Total annihilation could be gambled, but then you could argue, but if it's a level playing field, someone will get the upper. There's always someone with an upper hand. But like, I think it was smart of Obama to try to denuclearize the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
mean, for fuck's sake, there's enough to destroy like various planets.
Dude, it's also it's like this. It's really dangerous what's happening in Ukraine for nuclear war too.
Fully,
because this could. If Russia at some point
decides
that it is in a position where it cannot recover, and like it's inevitable that it's going to get attacked, there is no reason for Russia not to nuke Ukraine, because I think it thinks that it can get away with it, and I think it's not wrong. Because if I know I don't want this to happen.
No, of course.
If Russia,
this is all hypothetical,
God forbid, nukes Ukraine, I honestly think that America will not nuke Russia, because it wouldn't make sense, because it's not a NATO country. If Russia nukes a NATO country, then there's that concept of mutually assured destruction that will come into play. Then you're at then you're in a nuclear war.
Thanks a lot, Sweden.
But because Ukraine isn't in it, and I don't think that America is willing to sacrifice San Francisco for Ukraine. And
that's also quite sad in its own way.
It's also quite sad, but they pretend that they will.
Yeah.
Which gives Ukraine all the wrong ideas. I don't think they will. So I
think you're probably right.
So if Russia launches nuclear bomb on Ukraine, I think it will be met with like a conventional war. I think it will be met with like extreme level of condemnation from everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And it will make it will make Russia isolated. But I don't think it will lead to nuclear war, and that's a scary thing.
But is that
it's a scary thing that someone in their calculus knows that they can get away with.
But see, this is what I'm saying now. It's a lose-lose situation. It's like, it's scary because they don't nuke them. It's scary because they nuked them. It's like, for fuck's sake, every situation is scary.
Yeah, it is.
You know, like, oh man, it's fucking insane. It's insane. I don't know how. The fucking Einstein and Oppenheimer should have been strung up and gutted, bled dry for their crimes. It's a crime. But then you could say, oh, somebody else would have discovered it. And that's possibly true too. So I shouldn't say that. But like, I don't know. It's just like, it starts to move into a philosophical realm of power and human nature versus, you know, it's like good versus evil and the law of nature. It's like way too deep a thing to get into. But look, what you were saying is thanks for explaining that. It's crazy. It's do you think that Iran might be how far do you think, I mean, look, it's funny that Americans would be like, Iran's a huge threat. It's like, let's just look at the reality here. They're, by definition, not a huge threat. By definition. But
they're not.
How far...
And compared to America, they're nothing. They're an ant.
Yeah. So, like, how far would they be willing to go? I mean, a theology is usually quite, I would say, more principled than a democracy in many... would you say that? No, maybe not principled, but they're more. I wouldn't say more, maybe not more principled, but more sort of like secular and like determined. You know, like religious people are way more. They have more conviction. They just do things. Like generally a religious person will like do something because it's right. They have higher morality,
which is why they're supporting
or what they believe is right. What they believe is right. Yeah.
Even which is why, and it also makes them do stupid shit because you might think you have an idea of what's right, but it might be completely wrong.
For sure.
But you're like fucking being weird about it and just chasing it and like in a really extreme way.
Yeah.
Having said that, they're still humans, so anything that threatens their own survivability, they're not going to do that. So, for example, if they have a nuke, they're not just going to like throw it at Israel.
Of course.
Or even like directly wage a war against Israel and be like, okay, let's fight a war now. They don't want that. And because they're humans. They know how to survive. Like no matter how religious you are, whatever, survival is like key for everyone. So anything, they will go as far as it takes as long as the repercussion of that action is not a full-scale war on Iran.
Yeah.
And they don't know where that line is. They're trying to figure it out. That's exactly what's happening right now. They're trying to figure out how far we can go where we create, because like that guy who's assassinated in Tehran, the Hamas leader, we need a response. That they know, that we need to do something.
Yeah.
But what is that something? And it needs to be bigger than what was done last time, which was just like sending these like hundreds of drones that they knew were going to get shot down, but it was like a symbolic message that we can.
Yeah.
And, we did something. You did something, now we did something.
Yeah.
So they have to pull that off. It's not like if they will do it, they will do it.
Yeah.
But what that is something that they're also working on.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be more than just like getting Hezbollah or their proxies to throw rockets, because the stakes are higher now. America understands this, and they want an out for Iran. So what they're hoping is that both Hamas and Israel will agree to this ceasefire truce, and when that happens, we'll say, Iran, look, there's a ceasefire now. We essentially give them an out. There's a ceasefire now. There's no reason for you to attack. So let's all bring our temperatures down. We're going to work towards rebuilding Gaza and all of that stuff. And that will give Iran an out. Now, if for some reason this trade deal, this current one that's being negotiated literally as we speak right now, collapses, then something will happen. And the future remains uncertain. They will have to do something, and then it's all based on their calculations. If they miscalculate, they could like end into like a serious hot war, which obviously Israel wants, because then immediately Israel's going to send over its like newly bought F-35s from U.S., which is the greatest war machine on planet Earth.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, the second greatest war machine on planet Earth. The best one are F-22 Raptors, which the U.S. only keeps for themselves. They don't.
Really? Is that like Top Gun vibes? Is that what's in
Top Gun? The new Top Gun was F-18.
And what are you saying? What did
I'm
you say?
talking about F-22s.
Oh, so it's fuck.
So F-22s, I think they gave Australia some.
Really?
And I think they gave Israel some as well. But it's not as... they don't want to sell those. They want to keep them for like... What they did create was F-35, which is one of the most modern jets on Earth. And it has like 5th generation jets. It has like... You can't even see it on a radar. Like they'll just come... Boom, boom. It's insane. So Israel is going to take out the F-35s as soon as that happens, and it's going to bomb all the nuclear sites. God. And then American aircraft carriers are going to be in the ocean, making sure that Israel doesn't give them a dogfight. It's an unfair thing. On one hand, Israel is super strong, and but Iran will think, okay, well, let's see. Maybe it's the pilot and not the machine, but then they know that the American insurance means that they're going to be decimated. So it's just it's a shit situation for them to be in. So that's why they don't want a war.
You know how I mentioned in Iran there used to be like miniskirts and rock and roll? Americans look at that like, look how free they were.
Yeah.
Is that how Iran looks at it?
Some of them, yeah. The ones that were wearing those miniskirts and rock and roll, they certainly believe that.
They were into it.
Oh, dude, so much.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen PBD?
Badoom Badoom.
Badoom Badoom.
Nah.
All he talks about is like how amazing Iran was during the Shah's period.
Right.
It's like there was rock and roll, there was arts, there was culture, there were holding parties.
But was
that was like a small population. Like
okay.
Like most of the heartland of the country was like.
And that was only allowed because America was there?
No, that was only allowed because they had a dictator who believed in like modernization and westernization. So he actively encouraged
an Ayatollah.
Yeah, well, opposite of an Ayatollah. As in like Ayatollah, yeah. Because even Ayatollah is dictatorial. So the Shah was also dictatorial, but he was like, don't wear a hijab. Like, in fact, you'll get punished if you wear a hijab.
How does that work with an Ayatollah?
With Ayatollah, it's like you must wear a hijab if you wear a short skirt.
Yeah.
So like you can't have.
But I don't understand.
One or the other.
But were they both in power? Was there an Ayatollah and a?
No, when Shah was there, Ayatollah wasn't in power.
Okay.
So when Shah was there, he would say, "Don't wear hijabs."
Gotcha.
In fact, like if you're a public servant, you can't wear hijabs.
Yeah. He was trying to westernize it. Yeah.
And then when Ayatollah came, he just did the opposite.
Okay. Because you know what I thought. You know where my brain went? My brain went to an Ayatollah that's like, you know, full religious beard and everything. And my brain went to like him being like, you know, they're like, he's like doing all the, like setting out the thing. And it's just like, you know, Rubber Soul was pretty cool, huh? Okay, we can wear miniskirts. Like the Beatles are cool, man. They rock. It's like, what are you saying? You can't, it's like, have you heard this album, man? It's crazy.
He was a bit like that. His son still lives in Beverly Hills. In fact, a lot of Shah's sympathizers and people that were part of the inner circle
went to America.
That fled.
Yeah.
Went to Beverly Hills in particular.
And that's what the the Kardashians are Armenian, right?
Yeah, they're Armenian, but I don't even know how much Armenian they are.
I think a lot, maybe half. I mean, there are a lot of Arabs and stuff in Beverly Hills. I think it's like rich
Iranis. You have a lot of Iranis in Beverly Hills.
It's interesting.
Sorry, they would be very offended by that. A lot of Persians.
Persians. Yeah. God, there's a lot of money in Beverly Hills, bro. Have you been through there?
No, I haven't.
It's crazy, but it's also like that's what's funny about LA is you go to these places and they're like, this is amazing. I'm like. And this is just like St. Ives in Sydney. It's not that amazing. It's not that it's not that beautiful, you know. But I tell you what, this Middle East you speak of is a fascinating region. It really is.
Yeah. Well, let's switch some gears because I feel like we've been talking about this.
But it's fascinating, dude. It's really interesting.
Hey, did you hear about that yacht, the super yacht that just like? Okay, so there's been another one of those like Titanic submersible things happen. So there was a yacht that was carrying a bunch of billionaires.
Yeah.
Including like a massive UK billionaire, tech billionaire, some vice president of like a global bank.
Oh my god.
And there was like, and they were all living it up on this yacht.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, this like massive storm builds up.
Yeah.
On just off the coast of Sicily, wrecks the entire boat. 5 of them, including the tech billionaire, just dies. Yeah.
Nature,
bro.
Nature, like the great leveler.
The great leveler. They're doing the Bill Burr thing of like, you know, it's just a good mix of people to get rid of.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like bomb the fucking P&O cruise or whatever.
But think it's like a good mix of people to get rid of. People on cruise.
Dude, how does like a storm in the south of Sicily kill you? Like I look at a map of Europe now, and I look at it as like a river. It's like a pond. It's like, it's a big warm pond. You can't die from a storm in the Mediterranean. Obviously, you can. Obviously,
I think like it was at an off hour when there was. I think it was like the news report that I was reading.
Yeah,
like the rescuers went there at 4 a.m., which makes me believe that maybe they were partying or something.
Okay,
and it was just a weird time.
Yeah, I mean, look, a fucking storm can hit in the Mediterranean. It's just that you look at the map and you're like. I could swim from Italy to Croatia.
Yeah. You know? Apparently, it wasn't even that far. But like you can drown in a bathtub, really.
Yeah. And I was joking. You obviously can't swim from Italy to Croatia, but like it's that's crazy. I didn't hear about that. That's fine.
Apparently, those storms like that, particularly like in areas like Sicily where they weren't that big, because the global temperature has risen by 1 degree centigrade. The storm frequency and intensity has also increased.
Oh shit!
So you get more of these like intense storms building
more
up.
frequently.
Yeah, more frequently.
Well, look, I mean, your money you can't take your money to the afterlife. Although they were enjoying their money, they were on a super yacht.
Yeah.
So it's like can't take your money. It's like, yeah, we were spending our money, bro.
Yeah, but like I was thinking when I was reading this news story, just what are people going to say? Like at the end of the day, dude, 5 innocent people. I mean, innocent people died.
It's really
it was like a story of some lady, like the wife of the billionaire. She had a 1-year-old.
Oh god!
And she was holding the 1-year-old
my
up. Like the
God.
1-year-old is safe, and so is the lady.
Oh, good.
Because they got the rescuers.
Thank God. Yeah.
But like it's a harrowing thing. But like at the end of the day,
to bring it,
that was the first struggle of her life. Yes.
Exactly. She's like, my forearm hurts.
Yeah, my forearm.
Where's
hurt
my maid?
for the first time? Yeah.
Yeah. I would. You know what
Getting mad at her maid for
Yeah.
like being late to save them.
You know what I would say, to bring it back to what we were talking about in the pre-show, which you can get if you sign up to Patreon for the Upper Late.
Please sign up to Patreon.
Please sign up. We really need you.
We're gonna start begging you.
Yeah. There's some corroborations going down. We need it. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, to bring it back to what we're talking about inflation and stagnant wages and whatnot. I feel like in the 80s, for example, something like that, this idea of someone not just completely lamenting and grieving with a multimillionaire dying, or anyone of any like a monetary, what you earned was irrelevant. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't grieve any less for a millionaire. In the 80s, you'd probably grieve more for a millionaire because of the what do you call it? That era, like the greed or whatever you want to call it, the make money era. But I would argue that as people are paying $30 for olive oil and are struggling to make ends meet, and mortgages are completely out of reach, the only vindication a poor man has is to laugh when rich people die. And
yeah, because that's the only thing.
What else can you do? You're like, yeah, well, fuck you. Which is wrong.
Dude.
It's wrong.
Funnily enough,
I would say it's
I don't
wrong.
want to bring it back, but taking it back to the last segment,
yeah.
You know, that's the only thing you have. Have you heard those Palestinians that keep saying from river to the sea?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
it triggers.
It's not Palestinians. It's like,
yeah, now it is everyone, but it used to be like,
sure.
it was considered a controversial thing.
Yeah,
but they only do it because like that's the only thing they can do. They know it triggers them.
Oh,
that's why they do it.
Oh, yeah, because they're saying like because
they know that that's the one thing that has been built by the media is like, oh, this means genocide.
Yeah,
which I don't think it does, but they know that they think that, so they'll say it because like the Palestinian would always say it because they know that this is getting into.
So anyway, sorry. So they really are. So do you think
they're just trolling?
Yeah,
when they say that.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think Palestinians majoritively are like radical and like fuck the West, or no? I mean,
West, but Israel for sure. But look, we'll move from that.
Yeah, we'll move from that. Yeah. But look, it's sad if anyone dies. I'm not anyone. Like, obviously, being rich doesn't make you inherently evil. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, having money and wealth doesn't make you evil. Quite often, it's the opposite. Like, so, I mean, think about it.
Dude,
there are a lot of rich people that are doing good things. I mean, even Elon Musk is like. Electric cars are a good move towards reducing emissions from all the research I've been told. And I'm not saying he's a fucking philanthropist, but that's one extreme example. I get the anger,
Musk
but
is not a good example.
Yeah,
like Elon Musk is just like this little child that is extremely power hungry.
Yeah,
wants everyone to have the same opinion as him.
Yeah, sure, he is a bad example,
but there are others. There's people
people
that are part of the Bill Gates Foundation and all those.
Yeah, I would just say I would say people should direct their rage at like. I mean, it's not that you can't be individuals, but like, put it this way: I don't think anyone on that yacht that died. I assume I would say that they have not directly influenced anyone's ills in life.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
this is gonna get. I probably shouldn't say that.
What?
But I was just like Googling the guy, the unfortunate man who passed away.
If he was a dick, he was a dick. Tell me.
Dude, it's like he came up with some software thing. Then he was like fighting like legal battles with HP, and he was just like, "Here's my $6 billion." I was like,
"Oh, so it was just bullshit." Yeah,
it was like, man, we can survive with that.
Well, no, for sure. I mean, okay, Jordan made a good point actually when we were on a pod once, and he said that like if you're a billionaire, you're probably evil because to get to that level of rich, you've fucked a lot of people over. Which I will say, if you're a millionaire, I think, look, I don't think necessarily, but that's not to say that like, that's not to say that like people that are in those situations that are millionaires. That's not to say that their jobs aren't bullshit jobs, like superfluous jobs. Like, why are you a millionaire? It's like, oh, I moved zeros more effectively on this fucking graph for this fucking hedge fund.
So you don't subscribe to behind every great fortune is a great crime?
I would be inclined not to. I think it's too reductive and simple. It's just like a nice boogeyman. Like, oh, that's this straw man. That's just not true. I just don't think that's true.
In some cases, it is.
In a lot of cases, it is.
Yeah, but it's not a rule. It's not a standard.
Yeah, and I'm not doing the thing of like Gavin McInnes, which is like most millionaires are legends. It's like, no, I don't think so. But like, I think it's dangerous.
That is certainly not the case.
No, he says that kind of shit. But like, but I think
dude, my brother.
Broad brushes are dangerous. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, go on.
My brother who works at Bondi.
Yeah.
He works at Bondi. My little brother, he works at Bondi.
Shout out for the Vodafone.
Vodafone. So if you go see him, you might see my brother.
Yeah.
He'll sell you something. Dude, he was telling me. He's saying the cunts in Bondi are so privileged.
Yeah.
Like they're on a different level. They need service like no one else needs service. He was like,
yeah.
So he was saying like,
I hate that. They're rude, eh?
He was talking about like these rich cunts. Like they're just so entitled. Like they have no idea how the rest of us live, where they think extreme level of service for like a Vodafone guy is like normal, and they expect it.
I cannot handle rudeness to like, what do you call that? Retail people. I can't do that. I could never be rude, dude. I actually called Vodafone because I've got the SIM's fine, but for some reason it's connected to my email. I can figure it out. I didn't want to bother you guys. I can figure it out. I still haven't done it, but it's something stupid. I'll when I can be bothered, I'll figure it out. It's just not connected to my number. It's connected to my email, whatever. Anyway, I called Vodafone to ask. Nevertheless, the guy didn't help me at all, but like that was only after the phone call ended. I realized that, so it doesn't matter. Dude, he was just like, what is your name? I was like, that is a very interesting name. And he was like, I just had a daughter. We ended up talking about his daughter for like ages, and he was like, what do you think's a better middle name for my daughter? And I enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, man, that's cool. And then like I made sure to be very kind and interested because this poor guy is in like Mumbai or something. I don't think he's on a lot of fucking money, and he's just had a daughter. And I'm like, the least I should give you is my respect and courtesy. Wherever he is.
He's probably in Australia.
No, I asked him.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. I asked him because I was curious. I'm like, where are you? He said, I'm in Mumbai.
Oh, so their call center is overseas.
Yeah. But like the minimum requirement for me is to like, not in a patronizing way, but just to be like genuinely engaged and like empathetic to them. It's not like you're wasting my time. Like, why is my time more valuable? Why? Says who? Says me because it's my life. That's bullshit, So I can't stand when you see someone in like a shop, like Vodafone, your brothers, and they're just like, uppity and expecting. It's like,
dude, that is extreme.
I can't do that. You'll never see me being rude in a shop. I will say that right here. You will never see me being rude in a shop ever.
This is like the height of privilege. My wife tells me she used to work at Hyde Park Plaza concierge. So if you're from Sydney, you know where it is, but it is possibly the fanciest and the biggest apartment. It's an old money apartment building. It's right in front of Hyde Park. It's millions of dollars apartment.
Beautiful. I think Spaniel lives there now.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm serious. Spaniel got a house overlooking Hyde Park, an apartment.
Yeah. Well, that man, he needs to keep working now.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I would save my anyway.
So
I wouldn't rent there. That's insane. But yeah,
that there was a woman that you would press a button and the door would open.
Oh yeah.
Right. So when people came, like residents of the apartment, the concierge would press a button and it would open.
Right.
Now, my wife tells me that she was in the bathroom at the time. This lady came. Now, if there's no one there, you've seen those green buttons. You press it and it opens and you come in.
Yeah.
This lady
stands
there.
Oh,
she waits, and then so when my wife comes in, she presses the thing, the door opens, and she was like, "Where were you?" And she was like, "Oh, sorry, I was just in the bathroom." And she was like, and so she also like, "Is the button not working? Like, were you trapped?" And she goes like, "It's not my job to open the door. It's your job to open the door."
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's privilege.
Was that an Aussie?
Yeah, dude.
Unbelievable.
Third generation. Apparently, her grandfather was like some really big businessman. I forgot. And her dad had it's inheritance money. She was nothing. She was just like a third generation rich person. Apparently that's all Hyde Park Plaza is, by the way.
Right.
It's all old money.
I'm not surprised. I mean, the irony is she's willing to waste time to be held on.
Well, she doesn't really have to do anything.
That to me is also in a weird way. Sign up to the Up Late because we'll be talking about this in the Up Late. But that to me is in a weird way. Seems very like. Oh, actually, that's not true. It's un-Australian, is what I'm saying. That's an un-Australian. It's very un-Australian. Be like, you have to open. It's like, bro.
Yeah.
What are you on about? Like,
what are you on about?
Are you kidding me? That's yeah. I hope your brother's not getting too much shit. He should give it back. If someone's being a beep, he should just be like, I just be like, look, I don't have to serve you, or whatever. I don't have to help you. I'm not like bound by law. Like I'm a human being, so like I am turning you away. Yeah. And then what would they say? I don't think Vodafone would fire him, even if they wouldn't do shit.
Yeah, they probably like just get on him. They probably say, "Why didn't you just escalate to the manager?" It doesn't matter.
Right, because I don't.
I've done plenty of those jobs to know that it wouldn't be taken well by.
Yeah. Well, look, I've had plenty of jobs where I've been underhandedly smarmy and a dick back to people, and I've never regretted it. And I've never been fired either. I've only been fired for incompetence.
Fair, dude. I think self-respect, and it's okay. Like
always,
you're Australian. You can tell them, like, I'm not your slave.
Yeah, and some would
this is my job. Like,
yeah, and some would say that's comes from a place of privilege because I can risk getting fired because I won't die if I don't have a job, and that might be a fair argument. But that's
that's what the government, that's what this country has given us.
That's what this country, and that's why I would never be disrespectful to someone on a low income job because they might not have the privilege of being able to talk back when someone's like, sorry, I shouldn't swear on a thingy, but like beep, 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 beep. And then someone might be like, I want to just tell this person to go beep themselves, but I can't.
Dude, all of them do. If you're saying blah, 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 blah,
they all want
to you,
yeah.
What person is like, oh, he's just venting. I'm going to absorb this.
That's true.
Oh, he's probably a great person otherwise. Right now, he seems to be angry, and I'm the target, and that's okay.
The important thing is the context. No, but that's why that's the ultimate abuse. That's the ultimate abuse, to like abuse someone that is powerless to abuse you back. That's a bully. That's a bad person. Straight up.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
That is a bad person.
100%.
And you should not just a cowardly person.
But this is the other thing that also happens when you work service jobs, like we both have.
Yeah.
That you know that. You know how to respect someone that is doing a service job because you've done it.
Probably.
And you also don't have like those kind of expectations.
Yeah. You've done it. Yeah, you've done it, so you know.
I've worked at a Porto's. I've worked at I've done the whole grind. I know it. But the other thing that also happens is you also realize when a service person is just being a dick.
Oh yeah.
You go like
But there's clever ways to get around that, and you can. It's all about subtlety. People are not. It pisses me off when people don't have the emotional capability to be subtle and clever. I hate when people are just like, It's like, oh, shut up. Like, it's about being like, you say an insult, but you say it in a way that it can be taken two ways. So you win and they think they win. Everyone's happy. That's how you deal with confrontation.
So you don't want to be like if you don't want to be mean to a service person just because they aren't putting in as much effort as you think you deserve.
No.
But what happens is sometimes if service person, because their life is so shit, dude.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard.
They're getting like fucking abused by their managers all the time. Managers are putting their own pressures on these people.
Yeah.
If you have targets as well, it's so rough.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is sometimes you become bitter. And then you make other people sponges. So like a customer walks in and you're just like a shit person at this point.
Yeah.
And like understandably
I've been that person.
And you're like, yeah, fuck you. At that point, I'm like, dude, I'm not your sponge. I'm not expecting you to like be extremely helpful or like be this excellent service person. But I'm also not here to just randomly take your shit because you're having a bad day.
Yeah, of course.
So as someone who's been in service jobs, I understand that line as well. To a point where like if someone is just trying to be fucking rude for no reason, where I'm just being normal, then I'll tell them. I'll be like, you don't have to do that. Like, it's fine. It's
exactly.
Okay.
It's like, and look, sometimes if someone's being a real dick, then be a dick. But like, if they're not, it's not cool, you know. I've told this story before, but like, I was like, when I worked at the chicken shop I owned, I was like,
let go.
Shout out. It's called the Fast Fox. If you still want to, I think it's still open. I don't know. I think it's definitely still open. Honestly, the food was amazing. The only place in probably the only place in.
All right, enough of this plug.
But we made our own sauces, bruh, mayo and shit. But I was like doing a burger, and then I was just pissed off, and I left it on top of a freezer. Not really ideal. And the lady was like, "You left it on top of it," and I was just like, yeah, so what? Or something like that. And she wanted her money back and called me a dick. But I deserved it.
Wait, was it covered?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have no problem. That's not the line that's being...
I think it's fine too.
It's fine. Dude, I expect to a certain extent, if I'm going to a fast food place, I know the food's going to be treated in a shit manner. That's the deal.
Yeah, or at least a shit manner.
If you're going to a Macca's at 4 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Hammered, expecting that poor motherfucker behind that counter is going to be treating it like some Japanese gourmet sushi chef. You're out of your freaking mind.
Like sashimi, high-grade sashimi.
If you want to have chicken McNuggets at 4 a.m.,
be thankful you can.
Yeah, be thankful. And that person isn't going to be like the nice... That's totally. Also understandable.
Yeah.
You know how much they get paid, bro?
I know.
It's often paid less than minimum wage.
I know, it's sad. Actually, it's really funny too. Like, I got Macca's the other day at I was recording all weekend. Finally, it happened. By the way, even though my brother was sick, he didn't come. But we still did it without him. Anyway, Anyway, we got Macca's, and the guy was really grumpy, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad food. He's grumpy. It was like the best Macca's I've ever had. It was like a Japanese chef Macca's. It was like
might have just been fresh.
Midnight. Maybe it was
because no one was ordering. They couldn't keep them in those boxes for 5 hours.
Yeah,
you got lucky, bro.
I got lucky. It's a lucky dip. Yeah.
But that's part of it.
Yeah,
that's
of course. Yeah,
that's part of going to fast food places in Australia. I had to like explain that to my dad.
Oh.
My dad was like, why is everyone at fast food places so rude? And I was like, Dad, the culture over here is like, they don't want to do that job. No. And it's a shit job.
It's a shit job. It's a terrible job.
So like,
and it's a hard job sometimes.
Dude, not sometimes. It is a hard job.
It's a hard job.
So I like had to explain, because he comes from Pakistan where like, there's literally slaves for everything. So like, even like your KFC dude is like giving you impeccable service.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So he was like, why is everyone at KFC so rude? And I was like, Dad, this is the culture here. Like, it's part of it. Like, they're not getting nearly getting paid enough. And then Dad was like, but it's about principles. I was like, Dad, yeah, but it doesn't apply here.
It is about principles, but it's like, you know, I think that there's different. It literally is a thing of levels of poverty. Like in Pakistan, poverty, you can die. So it's like, I have a job.
KFC is a middle income job.
Yeah, are you serious?
Like, I mean, look, I'm not saying like you're doing well if you're working at KFC, but you're certainly not doing as bad as the dude begging outside.
Yeah, in a country with good social security, you can afford to be a dick at Macca's because you're like,
because it truly is the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's brutal. But you know, if it all goes to shit, settling here is still, it's not that bad, bro. So like, you can be a dick,
but it's not that much worse than Macca's jobs.
It's not, yeah.
Dude, Macca's hires kids.
I know.
Like, you know, these 14-year-olds, because they can legally don't have to pay them full wages.
I
So
know.
these kids are working for $7 an hour.
I don't know why they do it. I never had a Macca's job. The first job I had was, I did. My first real job was like a restaurant, and then like, what would you call it? Like a kiosk, like a tennis center kiosk, like coffee, ice cream.
Yeah, that's a cool job.
It was
for
sick.
A kid,
I got to eat free ice cream and drink Gatorade and shit. It was mad. And coffees. It was amazing. And then I worked in a restaurant, like a real restaurant, like an Italian restaurant. I bypassed. I didn't do Macca's and stuff. My parents are too proud. If I was like, "Can I work at Macca's?" I'd be like, "No, that's fucked. No, don't work at. Don't waste your time."
I mean, look, man.
You know?
I think working at Macca's as a youngster or any of those fast food places is a good experience. And you know why? Because it's the worst job you can ever do, and you know it while you're doing it. So what it doesn't even teach you. What it tells you is like, it gives you motivation for the rest of your life. That if I don't do this, the fallback is so bad.
Yeah, it's not
like, dude, that's part of my motivation. Like, half of my motivation is like, I don't want to fucking go back to a Porto's. Like, I'll do whatever.
Yeah,
but I don't want to go back to a Porto's.
Yeah.
Even though, funnily, at the time when I was doing it, I didn't think it was particularly a bad job. I was just happy and living life.
Oh, for sure.
But like now, I look back and I go like, dude, I will do whatever it takes not to go. So it gives you like an added motivation in life.
That's how I feel about the restaurant work I also did in the mountains. Because like, dude, that shit was. It's just the hardest thing I've ever done. And it was like, the only way I could get through a shift was fantasizing and telling myself, I'm going to quit by the end of the day. I'm going to quit. And then I'd get to the end of the day and I'd be like, I'll do one more day, one more. And then that day too, I'm quitting today. It's the only way I could get through it. I never want a job like that
Is
again.
there anything worse on earth than closing?
No.
Closing is the worst thing.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Every day you have to
scrub,
and do a gazillion dishes.
Oh my God, it's endless. I used to do shifts of just dishes. I was just a dish person.
Restaurant work is probably the hardest on earth.
I reckon takeout probably. It's so demanding, and there's so many variables that can go wrong. A million things can go wrong that are not even in your control. Like freaks of nature, power outages, like even with food, there's
how often do you burn your hand?
All the time.
And not just fellas, if you haven't worked at a restaurant, it's hard for you to believe. The kind of burn you get on a regular basis is the one that will like knock you out for a week.
Yeah.
Like it's literally 3rd-degree burn.
Yeah.
And if you work at a restaurant, you have to get over it in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
With a freaking but you can't do anything because like there's people waiting outside, there's people coming in, and like
I started to like the little ones.
Yeah,
like,
the little ones were fun, and you also get used to being burned.
You get used to it. Yeah,
you're so used to like being burned. Like the little ones, like Miss Love is saying, I used to have marks. It took because I used to fucking do the tandoor at my parents' restaurant.
That's next level.
And I was learning it, and so like when you're learning it. Dude, my literal arm would just be filled with extreme burn marks.
I bet.
Like it took me about 2 years for my skin to like completely get rid of it.
Yeah. You just get those like seared. You'll see it every like psst, there's a sear. Like my head chef there, because I got so bored I'd move around, and a head chef sliced his fucking thumb off mid-service, and the real head chef was like, it was just he had gloves on. It was just filling with blood. He just said, wrap it in a towel and keep working.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
It was like
you essentially have to cut off your blood supply so that it doesn't go in food.
Yeah.
And have to keep working.
It was insane. I remember once, it wasn't that bad, but is it called julienne? That thing was like, it's like a little metal slicer. Insanely. And you're slicing an eggplant.
I've cut my finger on that so many times.
It's just it was the worst.
Some people cannot use that without cutting their finger.
I don't know how.
My mom still does it. every time. And I was like, Mom, you need to stop using this.
Yeah.
Because every time you use it, you cut your finger.
Oh, so she does cut herself.
Yeah, every time.
Just don't use it.
I'm saying, yeah, because I'm saying there's clearly some problem with your technique. Because
because this is the thing, you do it right, and everyone says just make sure you don't go to the very end because that's when you'll catch yourself. And then 2 things. When you're doing 100 onions, guess what? You daydream. And secondly, you get to this point where you're just like, I want to, like, there's this much left, and you're like, no, I need to get it to this. And inevitably, you just snake.
You know what
your
my
thumb.
technique is when it gets closer to it?
Palm?
Yeah, palm.
Yeah, you got to do the palm. That's the only way to do it. But, dude, it's still got my thumb. And the thing that freaked me out about it was really weird. It cut my thumb, and it went really deep, and there was no blood. And I was like, am I dying? What's wrong? Am I a zombie?
I probably got rid of like dead skin.
Yeah, but that was gross too, because I'm like, I got like a centimeter of dead skin in my. I'm like, this is horrible.
Thumb is a weird place. It has one of those like black holes. It just goes on.
It would have freaked me out less considerably if it was bleeding, but it wasn't. I was just like, I'm a freak.
A vampire.
Yeah. So.
All right, look, we're running out of time, so we'll just do quickly. First of all, thoughts on the new metro system in Sydney. Have you used it yet?
I thought it's been delayed again.
No, they launched it.
I haven't.
Does anyone give a shit about that?
I don't give a shit.
Apparently, it connects North Shore to the city and Inner West. So it's like
those needed to be connected anyway. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it was also like Chris Minns just comes and he's just like, well, if you live in the North Shore and you want to go to a pub in the Inner West, you don't have to drive anymore. Just get on the metro.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, the 2 groups of people that no one cares about, the North Shore and the Inner West.
And you know what that is? You know that's really
suck my D.
You know what's that? You know what that's really connecting as well?
What?
That's connecting. This is what it's doing. It's like finally, people from the North Shore being connected with people from the North Shore that moved out of the North Shore.
Yeah. Who used to live in
me.
Basically, kids that live in the Inner West that want to see their parents can go get on that metro. That's what it is.
Like, dude, I am born and bred North Shore, proud of it. It's me, proud of it. And I live in the Inner West now. It was made for me to be like, oh, sick, I don't have to drink. I mean, I don't have to drive.
I don't have to drive to my mom's. I can just get on the freaking metro.
That's amazing.
$28 billion.
You know what? I'm just glad it wasn't wasted out in the West.
I was like, wait. They should just have like more stations. They should have like how London, Moscow, and Paris are, which is like super well connected.
Yeah.
Like every little place.
They should have that.
That's what we should be aiming for.
But
not just being like, but how are people in the North Shore going to drink in Newtown? Well, it's just like, are we encouraging drink driving? We need $50 billion to solve this issue. So ridiculous.
That's the funniest thing of it. You're right. It's it's the most Aussie thing ever. It's like, but to your point about London, like, dude, I went to London last year, bro. I told you I came back here. I caught the train because no one loves me, no one picks me up, so I had to catch the train back. These big, I came from London, which the tube is just a thing of beauty. It's just pow. It's like it's incredible, and it's so. It's just this vein system, and it's so efficient and so fast, and you can go anywhere, like you said, anywhere. Come to Sydney, I jump on this like lumbering, like giant fun like jumping castle of a train. Stops at Central. I'm like, is this really how slow the train? And it was just like, stand clear of the doors. Psh. Oh no, we made a mistake. Stand clear again. Psh. 3 times a charm. I'm like, come on, we've been in it. This is like, compared to London, dude, we're a joke.
Yeah.
Our train system is really bad, like really bad. And on a Thursday night, 10:30 at night, no trains. What?
Yeah, which stops. Oh my God, they're the worst.
It's like, are you serious?
Oh my God, there's nothing worse than coming back from the city.
Yeah, dude.
Late. Oh, it takes just forever.
It doesn't
to go anywhere.
Sometimes they don't run, and you're like, all right, I'll spend like a $70 Uber or $50 Uber. It's
Dude, last time I was on a train during like peak hours. I used to obviously go to the city peak hours, but I
never go. I never go anymore. But I went recently too. Yeah,
because of the airport. Going to the airport.
No, but that's not why
I did that, and I noticed something really interesting because everyone like usually when I used to go, it was like when you do like a daily grind, you're just in a trance when you're going.
Yeah.
But this time I noticed, and this is the one thing that I noticed, of all the races that were on it, the fashion hierarchy is insane.
Really?
Like, okay, so whites are losing it, bro. Okay, so I'll start off. I'll start off with the race hierarchy. Asian. Number one, Asians, dude. They are so well dressed.
Always.
They're wearing like double-breasted coats, and because it's winter, and just these wrinkle-free coats, and like they're all like the high end, like they all just walked out from Korea. The men and the women. Just so impeccably dressed.
That's awesome.
Like how white people used to be back in the day. You know, when they're like Frank Sinatra days.
Fully.
That they're doing that now.
I love that.
Then you have number two race fashion hierarchy is like Arabs. Arabs and
they're naturally flashy.
They're flashy. So they're wearing these Zara, these like jeans and like
gold watches.
They put in some effort into it.
Yeah.
You can disagree with their style.
Sure.
Sometimes.
But it's bling.
You cannot discount the fact that they've put in effort.
Yeah.
And they've paid some money for this.
Yeah.
Even though it's like Gucci written everywhere, but at least they put in the effort.
Yeah.
Then you get like whites. Whites, you know what the problem with whites are?
What?
They never dress their age. Everyone's dressed like a child now.
Oh, I hate that.
So what they'll...
Wait, am I in that bracket?
Yeah, dude, we're all in that bracket. I'm in that. I noticed, I looked at myself and I was like, fuck, I think I'm one of the whites. So they're all like wearing these like hoodies and these like sneakers, Air Jordans.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you're 45. Like, what are you doing? Dress your age.
It's me. It's me.
It's all of us.
But I don't want to be that person. Sometimes I wear the jeans. Look, I wear jeans. Look, these are okay, bro. Look, hold on.
Dude, all white men dress like 12-year-olds.
These are Tassie. These are Tasmanian blood. No good.
Yeah. Like they're okay. Apparently, they cost like a lot of money these days.
They're not that much. You're thinking of Aaron Williams, maybe. But like, look, I understand. I totally get what you're saying. I hate when there's people in their 40s. If you're in your 40s, I would say 30s actually. You are not. You have no reason to wear tracksuit pants in public.
Yeah,
you can't wear them.
That's all the whites do.
They're trackies and like TNs
and
like,
hoodies
and like. But like, I think a hoodie can be cool if it's like a pimp hoodie. Like yours is cool as an emblem, like the Friendly Geordies one. If it's like. If it's got like
But still, dude, dress your age. You're not in your early 20s anymore.
That's true.
I'm the same because I feel like my dressing is very similar to the white man.
Jordan's the worst.
Jordan's the worst. We just don't dress our age anymore.
Yeah, but what should I? Okay, for instance, what should I dress like?
Wait, let me first finish the hierarchy because we're at number 3.
Oh, whites aren't the lowest?
No, dude, they're not the lowest.
Okay.
Oh, the lowest are gonna come.
Okay.
Then around just below whites, but close to them are the blacks.
Okay.
The blacks they don't put I'm talking about like the ones that are in Australia. I'm not talking about like the US ones.
Right.
They're well dressed.
Yeah.
They go to like if they're going to work, they know that they have to buy.
We should say there's always outliers too.
Yeah, of course.
We're generalizing. We're generalizing.
They'll buy like a collar shirt, which is required. It'll be a nice collar shirt. You wouldn't have any problems with it. It'd be nicely tucked in. And they'd wear like dress pants, like, you know, how you were supposed to. And you go like, okay, you're not super fashion crazy, but you know exactly what's expected of you and you're doing it well.
Yeah.
Good on you, right?
Yeah.
So the bottom of the barrel are the Browns, bro. The Browns, which I am part of, they don't put it, like, you look at the men and the women. They have not put in a single brain cell of thought into like what should one wear.
Really?
Yeah, dude. They are wearing like their Lowe's shoes have like, you know, they're flapping. It's open. and they're going to work. Their T-shirt is like 2 sizes too small or too big,
No.
and they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Half of it is like not even tucked in; it's like just hanging out. And dude, by the way, these are like Forbes. These guys, like when they speak on the train, they have perfect Australian accents. So these are browns that have lived it.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, and like and brown women are better than brown men. The brown men are the worst. Dude. Just no freaking effort whatsoever. Just show up.
Thongs.
No, not thongs. They're going to work, so they're wearing shoes. But they're wearing
shoes.
shoes that should have been replaced 3 years ago.
Well, look, yeah, I've got some beaten up Vans I still wear, and I'm like, fuck, I'm pushing it. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but they're not even wearing beaten up Vans because beaten up Vans is still kind of cool.
Yeah,
they're wearing beaten up Lowe's shoes. You know, like, and for office, for work. And they're not working at Friendly Jordy's. They're working at, like, Suncorp. Accounts department.
Yeah.
And they're like...
Dude, you got to
like,
take some pride.
You got to take some pride.
Some.
And, like, your boss shouldn't have to tell you, like, dude, come on.
Nah, bro.
Like, we have to meet clients today. Like,
what kind of pants?
Just, like, the cheapest pant that they found at, like, Lowe's. The cheapest one.
Yeah. I can't... I buy socks and undies from Kmart. I did buy a shirt, flannel from Kmart, but I'm not buying pants or shirts or jumpers from Kmart or Lowe's. It's just not happening. It's like, there's nothing good there, bro. Like, you need some level of self-respect. Jordan can do it because... Don't know why.
Because he doesn't go out.
He doesn't go out. And, like, it's utilitarian and he's making a point. Like, I don't spend money on things, which is, like, I think I like utilitarianism and I don't like garish, you know, frivolous, what do you call that? Like, just buying expensive shit. I'm not into that either. But that's on one side. But Jordan's on the other. You need a middle ground, bro. Like, you need some respect. You can't wear that stuff. Like, I
think, like, for white people do put in some kind of effort. Or I'm talking about, like, the ones that, you know, the city yuppie ones. There's a lot of bogans that don't give a shit. But, like, I'm talking about the yuppie ones. They do put in effort, but the only thing they need to remember is, like, just dress your age.
Yeah.
Like, you can't always dress like you're 22 years old.
No.
Particularly when you have...
Am I really bad?
Dude, you are kind of homeless. It works out. These guys aren't homeless. These guys are like...
Oh, because I'm not corporate.
Yeah. But also, like, the whites I'm talking about...
I'm a muso.
...are like, they're not... They've spent a lot of money on these clothes.
Yeah.
They're like, actually...
So what's the go? It's like tacky. Tacky?
It's just for 21-year-olds.
Like what? Like what, for example?
Like, if you can't just wear, like, trackies and hoodies to work and pretend to be cool, right?
You can't, definitely not.
So what you need to do is, like, sir, you were 40.
Yeah,
you need to go...
dress pants.
Yeah, you need to go buy a collared shirt.
Yeah.
You need to buy... You don't need to buy millions of them. No. You need to buy 2 or 3, but you need to buy good ones.
Yes. Buy a few and then maybe, like, a jacket. Yeah. Like, that's it.
If you have to wear a suit every day for your job, you should look into getting one tailored for you.
Yes, and if you want to go, like, chic, go hobo chic. Like, that's a thing. Like, you can do, like, you know, Birkenstocks, like gray, like not gray, like brown, yellowy, deserty, muted colors, that kind of stuff. People can pull that off, but, like, that's it. You can't go full bum.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
So I have advice for them all. Like, White says dress your age.
Yeah.
Brown says, bro, start putting in some effort. Like, like at this point, you may as well just, like, break some leaves and put them on and show up to work. Like, you're putting in no effort. So, like, put in some effort.
Yeah.
Black said, be like, you're doing good. You wear whatever you wear it well.
Yeah.
But just, like, put a little bit extra into it.
Yeah.
And I think blacks are really generally good because I think everywhere else they're flashy. So I don't have a lot of problems. They'll be fine. Like, the more time they spend in Australia, they'll be perfect. Whites, dress your age.
Yeah.
Arabs is like, bro,
you're
like,
overdoing it.
You're doing, like,
stop flexing.
You don't have to wear a massive Gucci on your face. Like, we know it. Like, we're not nearly getting as impressed as you think we are. So, like, just go easy on the brands. But, like, I like that you put in effort. I like that you spend money into it. And, you know,
yeah, me too.
But just, like, you know, you don't have to tell me that you're wearing Tommy from 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
So that's the advice for them.
Yeah.
And Asians is like, I think, like you're doing it well.
You're doing good.
Like, you're doing well. You have certainly replaced the whites.
Yeah.
I can tell you that much.
Yeah, for sure. Like
you are at the top of the food ladder.
And I will say that I noticed that in Japan too. Like they take their fashion and style very seriously, and some of it is whack. But even if it's whack, it's like it's done with gusto and grit, and they look great, man. It's like some people just dress in 3-piece suits. Some people are like, even like the anime chicks. It's like, man, they look cool. Like
they do.
Like it's not low effort. It's like it looks cool, and like that's what's cool about fashion is that like I don't know, it's like self-respect and I don't know, it's cool. It's just fun. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, they're doing it well.
Yeah, they're doing it well.
They certainly look like a different class of people. They certainly look like they should be on a separate first-class bogie of this train.
I will say, you know what I'm bloody talking about fashion. You know what I think? I don't know, man. I'm kind of getting so there's this whole look in like the inner west. It's like goth scene, not a goth scene, but like inner west scene, right? And it's like it's like you look like a lad. It's like fashionable lad / crim. It's like Nike runners, baggy pants or jeans or shorts, like just basically painting pants, just something you paint in, and then like some bullshit shirt and maybe like a cap or something. It's like that look. Like I'm so over it.
Yeah. Well, you reinvent yourself.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I suppose that's it. Yeah, but like, why does everyone love like those shitty shoes? Like lad Nike runners. They look so gross.
Yeah, they are. Because I don't know. Because like
it's like anti-fashion.
I've got them too. I've got Air Jordans that I really.
No, Air Jordans are cool. They're not Air Jordans.
But they're not that cool, bro.
Yeah, but they're not
wearing. I'm 32 years old. They're not that cool.
Yeah, but like I get it. But like Air Jordans aren't what they're wearing. They're wearing like, you know what I mean when I say lad shoes.
New Balance.
No, Nikes that are like they look disgusting. They look like. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna show you what I mean. TNs, like something like that. Like that shit looks. I mean, look, everyone, you know what I'm talking about. It's like,
why does everyone have to wear the same shoes as Usain Bolt, bro? You're not at the Olympics.
But that's not why they're doing it.
Going to your insurance job.
You know why they're doing it? They're doing it because it's kind of like these are gross. Pretty cool, right? It's like no,
yeah, but like no. But here's the thing: like in their head, it is, but it's not that cool. It's not cool at all.
It seems to be.
Just wear like normal clothes. I'm not saying that you have to dress like an uncle just because you know.
No, but uncles that's a cool look. Dressing like an old man. That's cool.
Also, everything about white people is just irony.
Yeah.
I like irony because I'm really smart.
Yeah, it is. It's like.
Don't you think so? Please say so. Actually, I don't think I am smart. I just say it. Please say I'm smart.
I mean, it's not even a smart thing. It's just like, it's just the hive mind. It's like, this is, actually it is irony though. It's just like, yeah, I'm dressed like an old man and that's cool. It's like, dude, the shit that people in their 20s and 30s wear now, if they wore that in any other decade, they'd be laughed at. Now it's just inverted where it's like, if you're wearing basically how I look, like, some just crap, wearing crap is cool. And it's like, no, it's not. It's like, it's not. It's like, it is, but it shouldn't be. Like, I don't know. There's limits. There's just limits. Like jeans will never go out of style. That's always cool.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong in wearing jeans.
No.
You can be an old dad and wear jeans.
Yeah.
It's just like how you wear those jeans.
Yeah. It's just like
and also what kind of jeans are you wearing? I mean, if you're in your 40s, and you wear a jean that's like ripped from everywhere, like bro, relax.
It's bad.
That time has passed.
Yeah.
Like there was a time when you should have done that, and I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
But not anymore. Now get some sober jeans. There's other jeans out there too.
I wonder. Yeah.
Get some decent fitted jeans.
Yeah.
Get ones that are like not ripped from everywhere. That are not super faded.
Yeah.
They can do a semi-casual, a semi-professional look.
Yeah.
Wear like a collared shirt over it. Wear like decent shoes.
Yeah.
And you're set.
Totally.
Set.
I feel like for guys, it's pretty easy. I mean, if you're gonna work, everything you said, hell yeah. Any other time, if you're not sure, jeans that aren't too tight and a t-shirt that's not too tight, you're gonna do pretty good.
Yeah.
You're pretty good. So we're lucky in that sense.
Just no, I'm the same dude. I'm obsessed with sneakers as well.
Yeah. No, sneakers are cool, but like, I just don't. Guys, everyone, girls, I don't get those filthy, the most disgusting, degenerate Nike like. They're the lad range. I don't understand it. Just me. I don't get it.
Someone said, "What the f is the deal with colored shirts? Capitalism at its worst. Seriously, I don't give a f." How qualified that makes me to fix a space station.
What about a tie?
It's not like you think wearing a t-shirt is less capitalist. Like just because it's also made in a sweatshop,
it's
bro. It's also imported by Kmart. There's nothing less capitalist about it. It just
I agree.
makes you look like a child. Like that doesn't, you don't have, you can literally sew your own collared shirt at home.
He's right.
Wearing a collared shirt doesn't make you capitalist.
Yeah.
Your t-shirt is no less capitalist than the other one.
What do you think of ties though?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. It depends on what your...
Ties can look cool.
Ties can be cool if you need a tie.
What's the point of it? Why was a tie made? Someone told me the tie was like a noose back in the day or some shit. Oh, that's probably bullshit.
I don't know, but I'm not worried about like why it was made. I'm just saying it's like a tie. You don't need it unless you're like a banker or something. Like I never saw my dad when he used to be a banker. Like his craziness, this was his craziness. He'd have to obviously wear a tie to work every day. And then when we would go out, like later at night, if it was someone's wedding or something, he wouldn't wear a tie. And I'd be like, Dad, why don't you wear a tie? And he's like, this is me being crazy. I don't want to wear it. I'm not going to work.
Yeah.
That was him being a rebel. I do it all day. I don't have to do it at the wedding too.
It's time for me to party. You know what's funny? My whole life, my dad always was proud of the fact that it's very 90s and growing up in, it's not, it's kind of funny now, but his whole freedom was precluded on the fact that he didn't have to wear a tie. And he'd always say it, he'd be like, I don't wear a tie. Yeah. I don't have to wear a tie. And he was so proud of it. And he would say it to me and I'm like, cool. I guess.
Yeah, for our parents' generation, that was legit a flex.
And the funny thing is, he was telling me that while I had to wear a tie for school. So he was like, sucked in. And I had to put a little, because I had to wear a little tie because I went to a Catholic primary school,
Yeah, my dad probably would say the same. But my dad was cool with it. He told me that like one time he sent like some junior to like, he was saying that when he used to work at, when he was at the bank, he had a good position at the bank. So they went crazy. It was an investment bank, so they were all very serious about everything.
He must be good with numbers.
Yeah. And so he goes like, we had this new thing to motivate staff. He was such a hard boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, we were like, let's introduce casual Fridays.
Perfect.
So you can wear casual on Fridays. So he says the first day, some guy who just come back from the US after studying there, he rocks up in shorts on casual Friday.
But he's allowed. He's allowed to. It's casual Friday.
Yeah, but you're not. Oh. My dad called him into the office and he was like, excuse me, who the hell do you think you are? And he's like, it's casual Friday. He's like, well, if it's casual Friday, you're going to come in your underwear next. What's wrong with you? And he said, my dad, and he proudly says the story. He says, I told him, go home immediately, wear some pants, wear a decent shirt, and come back into work. If you can't do that, then stay home.
Oh my God.
And I was listening to my dad, and I was like, Dad,
damn.
Like, what's wrong with shorts? He's like, well, you have to be proper at workplace. It's casual Friday, but that does not mean you can just show up in your... What's the next? You're going to come in your slippers?
Yeah. It's very Mr. Burns. It's like, we're doing casual Friday. It's like, what's the meaning of this? Like, but you said casual Fridays. Go home now at once and change.
Different generation. But dude, even at my own workplace, like in Australia, when I used to work at Dan Murphy's, not the stores, like at the office, some guy once showed up in shorts and the management had a talk with him.
I get it. Shorts are very casual. Yeah. And, people can say this is all arbitrary, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'll be honest with you, dude. I wish I had a uniform. I'm sick of having to know what something to
everyone. Grass is always green on the other side. Yeah. We're running out of time. We're way over time.
Okay, cool. Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And thank you at
watching, listening.
It's been Shawarma FM. Jordan's away for his little birthday. So he's not here, but thanks for joining us. Please join us on the Up Late for our Patreon members.
Please become a patron.
Just like look at us. Look what we're wearing. We're in tattered. It's tattered rags.
You want us to buy better clothes?
Yeah, like we dress like children. We were just talking about. You got to help us. We would appreciate it a lot because, like it's our wage. So like honestly, love you all dearly. Thank you. Maybe next week we'll do call-ins.
Next week we'll do call-ins.
Just suggest it. We've got more Pingu memes as well because there was a lot of people asking.
But we might actually just call in some of the I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe Patron.
We'll do Pingu memes.
Yeah.
And Jordan's obviously going to be here next week. So
yeah. So
thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Get rid of those Nikes. Smart.
Go to Zara's or some shit.
Uniqlo. I don't know.
Uniqlo doesn't make my size.
Oh really?
Asians are already small, and then
yeah.
So Uniqlo is always a bit of a disappointment. For me.
We'll finish. But I finally got the best pants ever. They're called Dickies. Pair of Dickies. They're awesome pants. They're like my favorite pants. So there.
There you go. See you guys next week.
See ya.